Welcome back to another Honkai Impact 3 video. It's your homie Cody GT, and today, my boys, what we're gonna go ahead and do is go over an announcement that dropped on the global side of Honkai Impact 3. So if you enjoyed the video today, go ahead and drop a like, it's greatly appreciated. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoy the content that you're seeing, go ahead and subscribe for more content like this. But let's go ahead and jump straight into it, my boys. This is actually a few things that we do definitely need to go over. So first of all, we're going to go over the World Cup matches together with the Valkyries. So it looks like that we're going to be doing something that correlates or coincides with the World Cup that is going on currently right now. So that is actually a pretty cool thing. So since the start of the World Cup, AI-chan has almost had no more time to play her PC games anymore. Which team will become the champions? Take a guess together with AI-chan. So during the event period, you're going to complete the specified missions daily to win Homu soccer balls. So these are the two that you're going to go ahead and complete. Stay online for 10 minutes. That's not too difficult. And participate in story, which is not difficult at all. And you're going to go ahead and get 70 Homu soccer balls just for doing that alone. So that's actually pretty cool. Now, at the specified times, captains can use the soccer balls in the store to exchange for tickets to support their favorite team. So it looks like vote ticket purchase time, the top 16 is going to be on June 28th through June 30th. And then it looks like for the vote ticket purchase time for the quarterfinals is going to be July 4th through July 6th. So you're going to go ahead and keep these dates and times in mind. As you can see right here, it looks like the semifinals is going to be July 8th through July 10th, and then the finals July 12th through the 15th, and then the exchange shop opening times is going to be the 16th through the 23rd. So all dates to go ahead and jot down. Now, with that being said, after the shop is open the next time, headquarters will automatically recycle the tickets captain purchased and send rewards based on the World Cup results. Now, there will be rewards regardless if you guess right or wrong. So it does not really matter. Well, it kind of does, and we'll get that into that in a second. But it really doesn't matter in the fact that you're going to get rewards regardless whether you were correct on your guess or not. But the rewards will be greater for the captains that guess correctly. So that's what I was talking about earlier. If you guess the correct team, then you're going to go ahead and get better rewards, but regardless, you're going to get rewards either way. So that's pretty cool. And then the shop will open on July 16th. Captains can use their Homu soccer balls to exchange for crystals and standard supply cards. So before we move on with the announcements, I just wanted to go ahead and show exactly what that entails. So if you go over to the shop and you go to the support shop, you can see right here that this is where you'll go ahead and choose the team or teams that you believe are going to win those matches and I guess win the World Cup overall. So you can go ahead and pick your teams and make that happen. So, but like I mentioned before, you are going to get rewards regardless. So whether you're right or wrong, so it does matter in a sense that you will get better rewards, but you know, at the end of the day, you're going to get rewards. But let's go ahead to the big announcement that is going to be coming to the global side here very soon, and that is a new focus supply that is going to be featuring Blood Embrace and Vampire Prince set, as well as the Core Invoker Delta. So this is actually very exciting for people that have Violet Executor, because this focus supply is tailor-made and catered around her. So if you have Violet Executor, be excited, get your crystals ready. This is going to be the focus supply you definitely want to go in on. So basically, during the event period, the focus supply drop rates will be increased for Blood Embrace and Dracula, the Stigmata set, which I'm actually very excited about because it seems very promising and like a very good set. And I'll definitely go over that. Like I do with all these focus supply videos, when they are about to drop, I like to go over the weapons, the stigmatas, the sets, and whether you should spend crystals and go for them or not. So during the event period, the 4-star weapons, so there's going to be second Sacred Relic on here, Sakura Blossom, and Void Blade. This is actually a pretty good focus supply, my boys, I'm not going to lie. As well as 4-star Stigmata Lear Scarlet, which is pretty good. Isaac Newton and Einstein Band. Isaac Newton is a pretty good one as well, and will be added to the focus supply. Blood Embrace and Core Invoker Delta. So those are the two that are going to be switched on the up drop rates. As you can see, the Blood Embrace is going to be going first, which is on June 29th through July 2nd. And then you have the Invoker Delta that's going to be the second through the 6th of July. And as always, the Stigmata throughout the entire time period. The other 4-star weapons that are featured on here are the second Sacred Relic, the Sakura Blossom, the Void Blade, the Chiyu Cannon, and Blood Dance as the Great Sword. So if you weren't able to obtain Blood Dance, this is another opportunity to go ahead and try and get this weapon. That's pretty cool. And then the Stigmata sets are the Dracula, the Lear Scarlet, the Isaac Newton, the Einstein Band, and the Nuwa, the Skymender set. So those are the Stigmata sets that you can definitely go for that are going to be featured on this banner. Now, with that being said, the Blood Embrace, if we go over to, let me see here, we'll go here, and then let's see if we go to the equipment album, and we can go ahead and check this weapon and the other Stigmatas out as well. So if we go ahead and sort this properly, there we go. So now we have the Blood Embrace. Now, like I mentioned, this focus supply that is coming is going to be catered around Violet Executor. As you can see, did I click on it? I thought I clicked on it. Did I click on it? Bear with me, my boys. I do this all the time. If you've been here for any amount of time, you know that whenever I try to click on something, I don't know, it doesn't work for me the first time. But anyways, so like I was saying, this focus supply is catered around Violet Executor because this focus supply is all about the bleed. So this weapon is applicable for Violet Executor. You're definitely going to want to go ahead and get this weapon for her. So basically, the weapon skill summons and deploys the weapon, sending enemies within range, floating, and slashing them once every 0.25 seconds for the next 2 seconds. Enemies receive physical damage equal to 200% of attack from floating, and each slashes bleed enemies, dealing 760 physical damage every 0.5 seconds for 5 seconds. So this weapon with the weapon skill can produce a lot of damage, but the main thing that it can do for you is bleed. Now, if you have Violet Executor, you know that she gets a buff from enemies that are bleeding, and she is able to deal out more damage. So that is why this weapon is applicable to her, and is something that you really want to obtain if you have Violet Executor. Now, her other skill here for the weapon is Blood Craze, increases character's physical damage done to bleeding enemies by 40%. So you can see where the bleed aspect when it comes to Violet Executor is crucial, because she just receives buffs all around when it comes to the bleeding aspect, and this weapon does that in quantity, in a large amount, I should say, and that's why this is a weapon that you definitely want to go ahead and try to obtain for her, because this is what she's going to be, her potential output is going to be topped out when you go ahead and have this weapon attached to her. And if you have Dimensional Break as a friend, I mean not as a friend, as a Valkyrie in your account. So this is something that you definitely want to try and go for sure. Grade A, top A, God tier weapon for Violet Executor. For the other Valkyries like Valkyrie Pledge and things of that nature, I mean, you can still go ahead and attach it to them because it is a good weapon to have, but it is not a weapon that is necessary for Valkyrie Pledge like it is for Violet Executor. So keep that in mind, my boys. Now, the other weapon that is featured is the Core Invoker Delta. This is actually a weapon that I do currently have right now, and I have it attached to my Dimensional Break. This weapon is a rapid fire weapon that deals continuous damage to targets in a straight line. Firing continuously will cause the weapon to overheat. Like most lasers, the closer the enemy's distance, the higher the damage. Damage is maximized at a distance of 3 meters or less. Physical damage dealt to paralyzed enemies is increased by 16%. So that's a little buff that you get right there. Shoots an energy ball that moves forward slowly, dealing 640 lightning damage to enemies in its path multiple times and paralyzing them for 3.6 seconds. Cool little skill right there as well that you can go ahead and use also. From me playing with this weapon quite often, I'll tell you right now, this is not a weapon that is necessary, and is not a weapon that you have to have or go for. It is the thing about laser cannons is that they fall off extremely hard, especially late game. Like right now, they're still not even really that great. They're okay, but not like missile cannons are. Missile cannons are just a lot more viable, especially in late game, and so this one just does not hold up. It's decent. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage. The weapon skill where it goes ahead and shoots out a what is it, energy ball is okay. I mean, it moves extremely slow, so you got to make sure that you're like kind of right there when you do it, up on top, you know, close to the enemy. But definitely not one you have to spend your crystals for. Definitely not one that you have to go for, my boys. There are better cannons out there that far exceed this one, and that's just, you know, coming from personal experience with this weapon that I currently have. So decent, not great, nothing you have to go for or spend crystals on, but definitely that Blood Embrace if you do have a Violet Executor. Also, the other weapons, Blood Dance is a fantastic one to have. If you have a Himiko character, you definitely want to get Blood Dance for him, especially if you have Blood Rose. The other weapon, my boys, the Sakura Blossom, if you have Miko, this is a fantastic one to have. I have this weapon myself. I've heard it gets a buff later in later game when we get to it, but this is a fantastic weapon. I love this weapon a lot. Does great damage and is tailor-made for Miko. And then the second Sacred Relic when it comes to the dual pistols, if I can go ahead and go down here, let's see, and the Void Blade. I cannot forget about the Void Blade. So second Sacred Relic when it comes to the dual pistol is a decent weapon. You know, it's pretty good for Divine Prayer, but nothing that you have to go crazy for or spend a large amount of crystals for. You know, the SP recovery speed is pretty good, but nothing that is, you know, over the top god tier to where you got to spend crystals to go ahead and obtain this weapon. So it's decent, nothing to really go crazy about. But the Void Blade, my boys, if I can go ahead and locate it, the Void Blade is something that I've been wanting for quite some time that I had just not been able to obtain. And that is, this Void Blade is a fantastic weapon. This is a weapon that you would definitely want to go ahead and try and obtain. I know I definitely want it. Generates a sphere of slow space-time that moves with the caster, lasts for 4.4 seconds, during which time crit rate of basic attacks, including combo and charge attacks, is increased by 18%. That is a fantastic buff. So this is a very great weapon to have. Upon consuming at least 10, 40, or 70 SP at once, physical damage is increased correspondingly 11%, 22%, and 33% respectively. Lasts for 8 seconds. So this weapon is just fantastic to have for any Mei or Sakura character. So I would definitely advise trying to go for this weapon as well. And it looks awesome. It looks badass. I love the look of this weapon. I always have. So that's definitely one to try and go for. So the ones you would definitely want to look into trying to go for is the Sakura Blossom, the Void Blade, and if you the Blood Dance as well. Fantastic weapon. And then if you have Violet Executor, Blood Embrace. But the other ones that are on there, nothing to really write home about. So now we can move over to the Stigmata set that is featured on this banner that is going to be coming, this focus supply, if I can get the rarity right. Okay, there we go. So this is the Stigmata set that is going to be coming, and this is going to be the Dracula set. Now, I've been hearing very good things about this set, very good things about the Stigmas individually, and I can see why right off the bat. It looks pretty fantastic. Now, my SE and Japanese players can go ahead and comment below and let me know if this is a set that is still viable today and is viable, you know, moving forward, something you would want to go ahead and go for. But just by reading it, it looks pretty good, my boy. So this bottom one, Dracula, is increases own attack speed by 12% and critical rate by 4% for every bleeding enemy on the battlefield, stacks up to 3 times. That is pretty fantastic, and you can see now how this is all starting to really cater around Violet Executor. So this is actually a pretty good one right here that you can have by increasing your attack speed for a Violet Executor, be hitting a little bit quicker, and the crit rate up by 4%, making Violet Executor a little better DPS type of character. So moving on, we'll go to the mid right here. Recovers own HP by 3% and SP by 3% upon hitting a bleeding enemy. Again, a fantastic little buff right there that you can get. You know, recovers the HP by 3% and SP by 3%. Not too bad, my boys. I will definitely take that. Nothing too crazy, but you know, it is something, and I wouldn't mind having that as well. And then if we go to the top set right here, increases physical damage done to bleeding enemies by 40%. That is a huge buff, my boys, and that is something that is, I believe, going to be pretty significant. Again, my Japanese and SEA players can comment below and correct me if I'm wrong, but that seems like something that would be very significant with that buff of 40%. done to a bleeding enemy. So if you have, let's say, you know, dimensional break where you can use her QTE or even her switch skill to go ahead and then bleed the enemies, multiple enemies at that, and then go ahead and have this Stigmata attached to, you know, one of your DPS heavy characters or even herself, this looks like something that can come in very handy, as well as the other ones that I just mentioned also. Now if we go to the set skills, the 2 sets, so if you get 2 of them, it summons a sidekick that lasts for 60 seconds upon killing an enemy and resets the duration of all existing sidekicks. Sidekick deals physical damage equal to 50% of, it looks like, your own attack, so whichever character you have out there. Damage comes from character and enjoys the character's boost, so that's pretty cool. Up to 3 sidekicks can exist at the same time, each increasing character's critical damage by 15%. That is pretty cool, my boys, I'm not gonna lie. Now with these Stigmata sets, I always find it that it's better to try them out to see how they work. And see if they work for you or if you like what they're doing for you. So, you know, you could always read it down on paper, but until you actually use it, you don't really know if you like it or if it's really viable. With that being said, that seems pretty cool. Seems like something that would be, you know, pretty beneficial, but again, it might be something that's pretty useless and doesn't really do a whole lot. Now with if you have all 3, the full set, it enters the resurrection status for 5 seconds when HP is below 1%. During which character is invincible but can't attack or move. Interesting. And also recovers 20% of HP per second when the resurrection status is over, knocks surrounding enemies into the air and bleeds them for 5 seconds, dealing physical damage equal to 20% of attack per second. And the cooldown is 300 seconds. So that is a very interesting set skill right there. I would definitely have to try that out to see if that's even really viable, if that's something you would even want to happen, because I don't know, that may be something where you don't even want to get to that point to where you have to use the set skill, but it could be something that comes in handy. Let's say you're in, you know, Infinity Abyss and you're about to die. This might kick in and it might help you and you might, you know, eke out that win. I don't know. I have to try it out again, my boys, to see if this is even something that would be enjoyable, something you would even want to try. But overall, this Stigmata set seems pretty cool. It seems like something you would definitely want to have. And like I've said, I've gotten comments before this set even came out, that this would be one that you would want to go for. So overall, my boys, if you have Violet Executor, this is definitely a must to go ahead and summon to try and get at least that weapon, and then see if you could get a few of that Dracula Stigmatas. When it comes to if you don't have Violet Executor, I don't know if it's a must per se, but it's definitely a pretty good one to go ahead and maybe throw a few crystals at, because you have Blood Dance, and you also have Void Blade on there. 2 phenomenal weapons you want to definitely try and get. You also have this Stigmata set, which seems pretty promising, and also you have the other ones as well that are good to go ahead and try and obtain, which is the Lear Scarlet. That set, not necessarily the set, but the individual ones are pretty good to have on certain Valkyries. The Isaac Newton one is also a very nice one to go ahead and try and obtain as well. The Einstein Band, you want to maybe try and avoid. It has some good perks to it, but I've heard there's a better free-to-play option for that set, as far as they have the same skills, but you know, it's just better. And then the Skymender set, the Nuwa, I don't really know too much about, so wouldn't be able to tell you about that one. But the Dracula set seems pretty good, my boys, and like I mentioned, the weapons there as well. So overall, I would say throw a few crystals at it, see if you get lucky. If you have Violet Executor, go ahead and go all in and try and get that weapon and a few of those Stigmatas. But anyways, my boys, that is the video. You know what, I'll go ahead and end on a YOLO single to go ahead and get out of here. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it slightly informative and slightly entertaining. If you did, go ahead and drop a like. Again, it's greatly appreciated. If you're new to the channel and you like what you saw today, go ahead and subscribe like I mentioned before for more content like this and much more in the future. And if you want, you can go ahead and comment below and let me know what you think about the new focus supply coming. Let me know if you're summoning, let me know if you have Violet Executor and this is a must for you, or let me know if you're trying to go for a certain weapon that's on there, or one of the Stigmata sets on there as well. I love to comment back with you guys and get a discussion going. But we did not get anything, my boys. That is okay. I did not expect to get anything. But anyways, my boys, I'm gonna get out of here. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do, And until next time, my boys, until next time, it's your homie Cody GT, and I'm out.